Democratic lawmakers say this decision is not a surprise, but there is both fear and outrage in the party as a result of the landmark conservative decision to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Many Democrats argue that the decision abruptly puts women's lives and the lives of their families in jeopardy. News 19's Archie Snowden spoke to Alabama's Democratic leaders about the decision by the Supreme Court and more on their reaction.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Democratic lawmakers and community leaders are outraged, as you said, Emily, by this decision, saying that overturning a 50-year-old law would change the course of life in the state as we know it.
I don't believe there's any room for a government official to dictate to families, even if it's just a family of one, what they should do with their bodies.
The Reverend Dexter Strong, who also serves as political director to the Alabama Democratic Party, echoes the fear and the outrage of the party as a result of this landmark conservative decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, viewing the decision as an attack on women's rights and the dream of American freedom.
I was hopeful and continue to be hopeful that someday we'll learn from the lessons of history, but today is one of those days where we have to stare the truth in the face.
That truth, to Alabama's Democratic leaders, is that many of the medical protections for women and minorities that were in place for Roe v. Wade are on the table to be abolished.
But I would tell you that it is dangerous and not a great day for America.
Alabama State Representative Anthony Daniels proposed an amendment to the Alabama abortion rights bill that will allow abortions in cases of rape and incest, but it was rejected by the House in 2019.
I think that this sends a dangerous message for states like Alabama. There will be certainly a lot of unintended consequences, like the rape and incest exception not being granted. And so I think that this sends a dangerous message for states like Alabama.
I believe if you've not had to counsel a family who's dealing with that agonizing decision, and if your body is not on the line, you have no place in those conversations.
On Friday afternoon, Alabama State Attorney General Steve Marshall filed an emergency motion to dissolve a preliminary injunction related to the Alabama Human Life Protection Act of 2019. The votes to codify the decision do not exist in the House right now. Emily?